7. Remember, I think we are being recorded.
Yep.
And so
Okay.
keep your comments
Keep yourself.
nice. So we want to discuss,
Okay,
You wanna do the minutes first?
sure. I didn't get,
Sure.
these came in after I got to work, so I didn't print them out, but I have seen them and they
I
look
didn't
fine.
print any out either.
That's fine. I pulled them up. They were fine. I mean,
So the minutes from
Take a print.
January 9th. Meeting.
I think I had, yeah, that was an email, right?
Yes.
I think I read through it. Yeah, there it is. Thank you.
Any corrections or anything?
Looks good on this end.
I think it looks fine.
Motion to accept. Second.
Third.
All in favor?
Yep.
So be it.
I also didn't print out on the agenda, but I can probably pull that up as well.
I didn't printed out the minutes, but not the agenda.
So are we jumping ahead? I mean, I can sign this, I just don't know that, I don't hold any.
Okay, so, this would be, so that it's okay to discuss
Yes, let's,
the disclosure of appearance of conflict of interest. The reason I brought this to our attention, we in some ways could all benefit from this accessory harm bylaw changes, in that as we go through and edit and then bring it to the town for approval, if you wanted to have at your place the bee day for bees,
Yeah,
and have people coming and so on and so forth, that would financially benefit you.
okay,
Your
Right.
activities would
Right.
benefit you. If you wanted to do riding lessons or
Yep.
teach kids how to ride or just taking care of animals, whatever,
Yep.
that would benefit you, and, you
pretty
know.
much anything that we talk about in regards to that could potentially benefit us, being farmers.
Right,
And
sure.
therefore, under open meeting laws, we should be filing a disclosure of potential of conflict of interest, the appearance of.
okay,
And this is the one that, the town clerk Mel
Yep.
thought would be appropriate for what we're going to be doing. And basically, we are public employees under the statute. So, in that, even though we're just a committee and we volunteer our time, by state law, you're considered a public employee.
okay,
So, our position is, a member of Agricultural Commission,
oh, okay.
and so on.
I'm fine with filling it out, I just was confused on some of the questions and
Yeah,
trying to answer
yeah,
it.
I mean, again, I
I
didn't.
started to fill it out
So
and
the,
then
the
I was
issue
like,
that is coming before us is the accessory farm bylaws. And, our responsibility for taking action is to, we are planning to, what's the word I'm looking for? Not adapt,
Revise.
thank you, revise the drafts from last year, and, as a committee, we would then put it forward for a warrant. Our relationship for the organization is that we're a member of the AGCO. And, how does your official actions matter to the person or organization? You could just say that it is part of our responsibility as a member of the AgCom, to decide how this document is gonna be drafted.
Makes sense.
And then we do wanna check off that, of course, taking into account the facts that we've listed above, that, you know, we feel we can perform our official duties objectively and fairly.
Okay.
Why there's a low risk of improper influence is optional. I would leave it blank at this point.
Okay.
And then we turn in our copies to Mal, the
Right.
town clerk. And I just think that it would be wise for us to do this.
Yeah, no,
It's not
I,
100% necessary
Sure.
because this is part of the duties of the Ag Commission. However, down the road, if someone was not happy with how the accessory farm bylaw turns out and
Sure.
votes on, we've disclosed that, you know, it's our responsibility to do this
right,
at this point. And therefore, we're gonna try and do it as fairly and as possible for everyone
yes,
that might be in this town.
all right, thank you,
Does that help?
yes, thank
Yeah.
you very much.
I'm up to date on this kind of thing because I am also wear the other hat of being on the Board of Health, and we had a speaker in from the MAHB, which is the Massachusetts Health, what's the B stand for? Board, that gives legal advice to boards of health, and he did a whole presentation a couple weeks back.
Oh,
And
great.
so, and I just renewed my,
Yeah, me too, conflict.
open meeting rules and potential
Ah,
conflict of interest,
Right,
whatever it's called.
videos.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember doing that last year.
Right. So, that's what brought me to thinking this would benefit all of us to just have it on file.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much for that.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Well, I just, again, don't mind, I just wanted to make sure I was gonna do it right and.
Yep.
Perfect.
So we don't have to do it now, we can just, you know, fill it in later.
So we'll just drop it by.
Yeah.
Are there any town offices still over at the library?
Yes, the town offices are there and here until February 20th. February 20th, the offices are closed, and they are moving these offices and those offices only,
Okay.
not the police.
Oh, so are they moving into the other building?
Yes.
Oh, wow, what a big day, that's cool.
So Thursday and Friday,
Wow.
the 20th and 21st, just that part.
Okay,
There's lots and lots
Oh,
more
fun.
work to be done, but just that part will be
Yeah.
done then. So any
that's awesome.
meetings after that should be over there. I don't know that the room has a name yet.
Oh,
Meeting room.
wow, that's awesome.
Exciting.
And it's my understanding that when you go in the parking lot and you look at the vet's office, it's to the right. There's
Okay.
two sections and
Yeah.
it's to the right.
Nice.
That's my understanding. I haven't been over there to know for sure. Okay,
Old business.
yeah. Well, now it includes the, workshop on raising chickens. And you've got your book.
Yeah, I just brought it in case anyone wanted to flip through it.
Oh, no.
And,
I don't wanna know.
All the different reasons. It helped me in the beginning. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, I started off rearranging and that was a bad idea, so.
And
Yeah.
and
I don't
this-
do that anymore.
This was a little condensed version of the flyer.
Oh, that's nice.
That was in the senior center
Excellent.
newsletter. It's small, it's a little bit hard to read,
Yeah,
but it is in there.
That's awesome.
I reposted it again to kind of refresh
And
everyone's
then,
mind.
Mel, the town clerk also reposted
Yeah.
it to everybody.
Can we get it on the sign, maybe?
It is on the sign.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah, it's on the sign. Well,
I don't
there's a
usually
lot
come
of,
down, yeah,
there's a lot of things on that
Yeah.
sign, so it keeps flipping,
Depends
and you
on-
may or may not see it,
yeah.
but it is on that sign.
when you drive by, if it's on there. or not.
I have not put any posters or anything up at this library or senior center or any, but
Okay.
they are, I think it's out there
Yep.
anyways, or the post office, I didn't put
Yeah.
one up there either. So, I think our minutes shows the outline of what
Yes.
to discuss.
Yes, from last
And,
week, from last
um,
time.
did you reach out to ML or no?
When I saw the poster and you were gonna be doing it, no. Well, I take that back. I reached out to ML, they gave me a name of a different person.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw the flyer was set, I didn't reach out to the next person.
Okay, that's all right. We'll follow that, the minutes outline, and then I went on MDR to pull up some of their, guidelines that they have from the state, best management practices for backyard poultry keepers. I just made one copy, and you guys can just flip through that quickly. Safe egg handling for backyard egg producers.
Has anybody been by to look at egg prices in Hannaford's or anything like that? Cause I was there the other day, just curious, as I walked by, I'm like, oh, I wonder what eggs are going for. 12 non-organic eggs was $8.99 when I walked
Wow.
by.
Yeah, they've had to put down so many flocks.
I know,
Buck and egg.
that's probably something that will come up, I assume, in questions maybe.
Right. And, what I didn't do is ask, there's Megan McGrath puts all these pages together. She has an email, and I need to ask her to send the page about diagnostic testing services
Mhm.
as a PDF so I can print it
That'd be
in
great.
regards to that. It's my note to myself that I have to do yet. And then, let's see, gotta remember to bring a few things like a baby chick feeder, waterer, heat lamp. Got just 3 things about that kind of stuff. Oh, and this is what they were saying about eggs from MDR. So I think we're in good shape. And of course, you have chickens, we can all 3 kind of lead a group discussion.
Yeah, that's good.
And we'll follow the outline that was in the minutes,
Mhm.
which I have to reprint for myself for us for next week. We've had emails from about a total of 8 people
Oh, nice.
that sent emails. I'm sure other people may just come. So, right, and then this one was just management for backyard keepers.
Are we gonna provide this kind of paperwork for people, or just chat about it?
I don't know. What do you think?
Or maybe just send them, like, the website they can look at themselves?
Happy, healthy hen will always produce more eggs, so true.
We could maybe, print off
Yeah.
like a dozen copies.
I mean, yeah. Probably be a good idea. And maybe a list of potential references.
Yeah.
Websites. Local places to buy chickens or chicks.
if I can take something off your plate.
I can make copies,
I can just,
oh, can we use this one?
well, yeah, it's a committee thing.
Okay.
You're gonna bring some cookies and stuff,
Yeah,
and, I can't remember what you, like, you have the book, what was it?
Yeah, I don't know, I guess I was just saying I'd also bring snacks or.
Sure, something to drink
Anything, yeah.
maybe,
Yeah,
lemonade or something.
yeah, I can do that.
Alright. If you'll hand that,
Oh, I'm
cause
sorry,
I only
yes.
printed off one copy originally.
I have my notes from last week. Oh, here they go.
Okay,
And that'll be here, right?
in that room over there, it's a little bigger, it's
Okay.
more seating.
Put it in
And actually, the public TV staff asked if we wanted it recorded. And I just said, well, sure, it's okay to record it as long as there's no additional cost to the town
Mm-hmm.
for it.
there. Yep.
Cause I know we're watching dollars and I didn't know if that was in their budget already or not. So I said, yes, as long as there's no additional cost to the town.
Makes sense.
That'd be just fine that it would be recorded, so it might be recorded
Okay.
Great.
as one of those, videos for the local TV station that shows everything.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And this is next week,
Yep, week from today, 6:30.
6:30.
So we should plan on getting over there. I'm gonna say 6:15, so not late.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm just right over across the street, I get out at 6, so I can be over here by
Okay.
6:05,
Well, whatever,
yeah,
and we'll meet over there.
yeah.
Okay, how's that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think, anything else we should, I could bring some fake eggs.
Right. Yep.
I have antique ones.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Very nice.
Maybe they're pretty.
I'll have to see if I remember to find my rubber eggs. They bounce like super balls. They
That's
bounce this
awesome.
way.
Did
Yeah,
you,
'cause they're gonna
did you
Um,
ever do that experiment where you're supposed to be able to like put an egg in something like cornstarch or something and then it eats away at the shell but then it becomes like a bouncy ball?
Oh, I have
Yes,
heard
have
about that,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Never tried it though.
Well, we're not gonna try it now, but I ate something that doesn't, but it keeps popping up on,
There are eggs that people paint, right? They poke a hole at the bottom and
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they drain it out and they paint it.
Oh, that's a Ukrainian,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polish, Russian.
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
And
yeah.
I have,
They have some like that.
yeah,
Cool. They're pretty.
they are pretty.
heritage, and inherited things.
Yeah, I wouldn't
And I'll bring a
those.
small bit, sample of Bronner's soap, making myself a list that I thought about before I forget it, and the type of sponge I use to wash eggs with. That works really good. It doesn't hurt to bring those kinds of things
Right.
down into the discussion.
Right.
All right. Now I think I got more of what I've already thought about in the past and almost forgot.
It's down on paper now.
Mm-hmm.
So are we gonna kind of just wing it a little bit, or are we gonna have like, I mean, we wrote down topics from last time. We're gonna like stick to these topics or break into groups if you want to do that, or, I
I-
guess it maybe depends on how many people we get.
I think we'd probably go through the topics
Okay,
with questions that can be asked along the way. And maybe end with, like we can do the open discussion
yeah,
as a whole group with refreshments kind
Yeah.
of thing at the end.
yeah,
If it goes over to 8:30, that's okay.
yeah,
But, we'll shoot for that time frame. How's that sound?
Yeah. So do we need to write up anything fancy to like have for them to think, oh, I can't wait to talk about this project, this topic, or?
Do they have a whiteboard over there or not?
Is there a meeting over there? I'll go peek.
It may or may not be locked, I don't know. Cause if they had a whiteboard, I would put it up, you know, like
Oh, yeah, we
as
can
an
do that.
agenda on the whiteboard
Yeah.
if they have one. I can't remember if they actually do or not.
There's the one right on the back side of the desk over there, but I think that's specific.
I don't know but,
The lights are on.
they have like a
Yeah.
thing to them. Oh, yeah, wow, is that, that's very good. All right, this is nice.
I have a whiteboard at home, I could bring it, you can stand it, but it's not super pretty, it's not super clean. But it stands and it's probably about, you know,
Yeah,
yay big.
sometimes Windex gets those clean.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit stained,
Yeah,
but I can bring it.
yeah, I forget, it's very lovely over there.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So if you can bring that, that'd be great.
Yeah, and then we can do that, we can just at least put our topics down.
Okay.
And that just keeps things moving.
Yeah, yeah.
So you bring a whiteboard.
Do you have whiteboard markers, or do you
I
want me to
do.
grab some?
I have some too, yeah.
Okay.
Either works.
If we all bring them, we'll have enough that
Yeah.
work.
Right.
Okay. Everything, okay, that's all, my notes on there, good. Okay, I think we got that covered, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool. I feel pretty comfortable with all of this, you know?
Yeah. I just, I don't, I kinda like to have like a, oh, here's what we're gonna talk about so that we can stay
Yes.
on topic or at
And that's
least
why
look
I
like
think-
we know.
I think that's why.
Yeah, no, that's
The
perfect,
whiteboard would be
yeah.
great, cause
Yeah.
then
Yep.
it keeps us all in tune to what's
Yes.
going on.
I could make a really simple pamphlet thing if you wanna,
No.
maybe just bullet point the topics instead of it being like in order. Like topics to be had and then just bullet
I-
them and.
I think that, oh, yeah, as a,
Like to hand out to people?
Yeah, just as they come in, we can hand.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
okay, so one
Yeah.
dozen copies.
Yeah, I can do that, yeah.
Cause I'll get these done. Or you can email it to me and cause I'll go into the office next Tuesday and I'll print everything then.
That works.
So
yeah.
send me a bullet checklist of,
Yep.
from the minutes of that list.
Yep.
That'd be great, and then we'll print it all and everybody gets this little packet.
Perfect.
All right.
Very organized.
just wanna make it, I'm kinda switching to
Go
a
ahead.
new topic only because I don't wanna forget, it's fairly important.
Yep,
Equidoc Veterinary Service is having a seminar on neurologic issues with horses
Oh, wow.
coming up March 10th.
I forwarded that
And-
email to you
Yeah,
today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, just wanted to mention it for horse people in particular. Should be a good seminar. And I don't know if you're familiar with Equidoc at all, but they're.
Yeah, I use them
they're-
for my
okay,
horses.
they're
Yep.
Good people.
They do alpacas too. They,
Yep,
do they
And goats
take
and
care,
everything.
they take care of yours?
yep,
Cool.
yep. So that probably brings us to the bylaw.
I did so much cleaning the last couple of weeks. I have no idea where I put my copies.
Do you wanna look at mine?
If you don't mind.
I got an extra copy, so
Oh,
I'm just making sure it's the right one. That's my,
Is that the,
one with your handwritten.
oh, that's the one I guess we're working
Thank you.
and it was up with so many copies of.
this was Tricia's
Yeah.
copy. Alright, no problems. I have every, but this is what we're working off of. And I'm
Yes.
looking to see that this is still
Yep.
the same, which it is.
Same notes.
Okay. Just double checking myself, cause I did pass
It was
you.
way over there.
Yes, that goes in a folder somewhere else. Okay, so, as we start at the top, what we would change in the first sentence is that it would be accessory rural enterprise bylaw as follows, not regulation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And again, accessory rural enterprise, Article 25, its bylaw would be the correction.
Yeah.
And then it has the various sections. 25.1, the purpose. We found a notation that should say protected by, the very next to last line.
Mhm.
MGL
Yeah.
dot C dot blah blah blah. Okay. Again, in 25.2A, it should be bylaw, not regulation. And this bylaw shall apply to any property meeting the definition of a farm as defined hereinafter. It's intended that the uses provided for herein are accessory to the principal use of a farm. And then leave off that
Yeah.
because it was redundant. Some of these, we caught back
Yeah.
Right.
last May with the public planning meeting. 25.3, here we go into the agriculture and agricultural shall include farming in all of its branches. Growing and harvesting of forest products, we thought it should include stating upon forest land. And then, raising and keeping,
Yeah, raising and keeping.
okay, so that should be raising and keeping of livestock, including horses, poultry, swine, cattle, sheep, goats, and other domesticated animals. Not sure where dairying should come in, cause that's milk production. Maybe a separate line. What do you think? I
So
had
horses, poultry,
cattle,
Mm.
thinking of beef cattle versus dairying.
Can we just put dairying in with this group, or?
because dairy could be goats too. You know, so dairy,
I think dairying should be a separate line,
Okay,
so
because of the milk and the cheese and the ice cream and
dairying. Yeah,
okay.
whether it's cows or goats.
True,
Oh, right,
yeah.
right.
Okay, so we'll put in raising and keeping and other domesticated animals. You know, it could be ducks,
Right.
it could
Mhm.
be alpacas.
Too many things to name.
well, again, instead of, I don't know why it's in two different paragraphs, basically. Domesticated animals, also including bees, ratites, camelids.
Yeah, that should be up above.
Yeah, should all be one.
Okay. This, move this
Maybe just, yeah.
to above line. Okay. Keeping bees. do we need to say at all, uses shall include food production or other agricultural production, and, no. Uses is the wrong word. I think it should say.
Raised for food production.
We should just have a line that agriculture includes food production or other food products related,
I'd like to put in food and fiber.
yep, and
Mhm.
fiber, thank you. Other agricultural products and fiber products, right?
Yeah.
Related to all of the above? Cause this is like the end of the section.
Yeah.
Then it goes on to say, and keeping horses.
Alright,
Why would horses be separate?
well, they are.
Yeah.
Cause they're not really like a
So,
food or,
so
Oh, they're
horses
more like
by
a recreation.
definition.
yeah, their production is different.
So horses by farming, right to farm bylaws, horse farms, you must sell a horse or breed horses for sale or breeding, that kind of thing to be considered a commercial horse farm
Okay.
versus someone who has a horse in their backyard.
Right.
And that's where that list, that's why it's listed separately.
Okay.
And keeping of horses as a commercial enterprise. That goes back to the definition of what is a horse farm versus someone keeping a horse for
Okay.
their personal use,
Right.
okay?
Yep. Yeah, because if you just have horses in your backyard, it's like any other pet. You know,
Right.
it's not,
So it's
Producing
it's
anything.
the word farm as a definition, like,
Keeping of horses as a commercial operation defines it as
right, as the farm part.
defines this as a horse farm. Okay?
Yeah.
Keeping of horses as a commercial enterprise defines this type of operation. I'm adding more words.
No, I think it just is, it's fine saying keeping of horses as a commercial enterprise,
Don't have to,
as opposed
Change
to
it,
just
yeah.
pets. No, I think that's fine,
okay,
'cause
all right.
that's, yeah.
And then farming operations may include the following as primary or incidental uses: preparations for market, agricultural support or processes related to any of the above uses, or storage and delivery of raw or manufactured products.
does this cover like people who are breeding to like show? Does that count?
For,
Like if you had a specific breed of pig and you brought it to a place to compete and you won something, should that be included? Just crossed my mind.
raising and keeping of livestock, including horses, poultry, swine, cattle, sheep, goats, and,
That kinda covers it, I guess.
ratites
Yeah,
and camelids and other domesticated animals like rabbits, you
Yeah,
know,
rabbits.
Yeah.
ducks, not listed.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, cause you're still raising them.
That would still be
Okay.
part of a
It just-
farm.
Yeah.
It just crossed my mind and I didn't know if that
I
needed
think-
to be specific.
I think what comes down to it, to some degree, is we're talking about a farm being a business versus having animals in your backyard.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, I hate the word hobby farm, but I think that's what we're trying to define. You know, same thing, commercial horse venture is raising and selling horses, whereas somebody having a pet horse in the backyard, they're not trying to make money off of it.
Exactly, yeah.
And again, so let's say you have your backyard pig that you want to bring to the Sterling Fair,
Right, yeah, good for you.
you know, but if you're bringing that backyard pig to the Sterling Fair because you have, you're selling breedings to him, or you're,
Right.
you know, you're entering into a farm business, I think that's where we kinda need to figure out how to separate. You have bees in your backyard and you like honey, have at it.
Right.
You
So
have
that's-
bees in your
yeah.
backyard and you want to sell it, you're entering into a different
Right.
category.
Yeah, because you can do like 4-H and you're not earning any income from any animal that you're showing, you're just doing
Right.
it as a hobby.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
we should go back to the right to farm bylaw, reread that definition again. That should give us the distinction
Right.
between a hobby farm or having pets, if you will, versus an active farming operation.
Hmm.
That's what I wanna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we got the words.
got a new one.
An active farming operation.
Farm operation, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in this definition, we'll have to include something about an active farming operation,
Mhm.
right?
I like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end, maybe? This farming operations includes farming incidental. Well,
Going
We
right
still
back to
have-
the first sentence, so agriculture and agricultural shall include farming and farm operations.
include farming,
And farm operations in
And-
all of its branches,
active
active farming.
farm
Yeah, that seems like a
operations.
good place to put
Good
it.
place to put it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because onto the second page, we have these farming operations may include.
There we go.
Mhm, yeah.
Okay,
Progress.
got it in there.
Break time.
Agritourism. A range of uses accessory to an agricultural use to promote agriculture-related educational, entertainment, historical, cultural, or recreational activities conducted on a farm that may include the public. Such uses may include
Mm.
you pick seminars or classes, farmers markets, retail stores with agricultural food, craft, art, similar products. I feel like we were missing something out of that when we first came up with it.
I'm still struggling with the first line. Range of uses accessory to an agricultural use to promote agriculturally. I just,
It's, yeah, redundant there somehow.
yeah. Range of uses accessory to a farming operation to promote agriculture-related educational.
Operation.
Would a museum be under that, agritourism? it's not a
Potentially.
seminar or a class, I mean, I don't know, we don't have to list everything possible, right? It's just an example, right? Such uses may include, doesn't mean we have to include everything, correct?
Right. Now, they were wanting to have products principally or wholly manufactured or grown on the site. And they were referring to some chapter 128. We also resell things.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Many
Right.
people do. Many farm
Right.
stands, stores
Yeah.
do. So there's a question to the validity of that
Mhm.
whole line. Question mark, and I don't have an answer.
Couldn't it be something locally, like participating with local vendors or something?
Or local crafters or. Yeah,
Retail stores participating with local farms. Cause you're right, there's gonna be places where they didn't grow it themselves, but they may be selling it.
And local,
Yeah, right. What does local mean?
250 miles.
Really? That's the broad term for how far local could be? That's crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so so local's kind of a tricky word then.
Yeah.
it is.
In
Nearby
that,
towns?
well, and that's fine, because that covers most of Massachusetts.
Mm,
And parts of Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont,
true, yeah.
and basically New England,
Mm,
parts of southern Maine. But yeah, local by definition is 250 miles.
wow.
And I forget where I saw that. And is that acceptable? Yes, if I don't have something and I wanna buy
Right.
from a farm south of Worcester, why not?
Mm. Yeah.
To resell.
But
If it
again, sell oranges,
No, right,
Yeah,
but that's,
again, yeah,
that's where it gets complicated.
right.
That's where it's complicated for me.
right.
Yes,
You know,
and that's the issue, what they were trying to say here is that the majority of the retail store, would have whatever product it is that farm grows.
Mhm.
However, that doesn't work all year round.
Right.
it doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean it needs to be, let's see.
And it doesn't need to be local necessarily.
Like a retail store having at least 50% of the items being locally, is that kind of what?
That was what they were looking for, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's something still to think about,
Mm-hmm.
50%.
Well, how about the word retail store with agricultural, food, craft, art, or similar products focused on manufactured or grown on site? Or focused on manufactured, let's see,
Or
focused
grown
on local,
Mm-hmm.
comma,
Focused,
and manufactured or grown on site.
local, comma,
And manufactured or grown on site. So, again,
grown
if you were
on site.
an apple farm growing apples, and only apples, you can have tomatoes,
From your neighbor's farm.
but you also
Mm.
have, your apples are also part of, versus, I'm an apple farm, but I'm only selling tomatoes, cucumbers, and kumquats.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, and yes, my product may be 2% of sales, but my product is there. I only produce enough for 2% of my sales. Or it's not the focus of, you know, ooh, that's great, but boy, these are real good. We, again, making it very specific, we have yarn made from our alpacas, and this is Ryder, and he's right out there in the field. And people, you know, we can give you a picture of Ryder. Ooh, that's really great. I want the pink yarn. You know,
You
we
carry
sell
both.
the much more of the pink yarn than we do of the natural yarn. Some people get excited about that, and that's what they buy. Most people go to the color.
Right, that's a perfect
Yeah.
example.
And, you know,
And so we
again,
need to word this so that, farm stores are not totally restricted.
Right.
But you should have some of your own product
Oh,
in your store
yes,
for sure.
yes, most definitely.
That's all we're trying
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
here without
Right,
saying, shame on you, you can't have
Exactly.
right.
some
It
organic.
has to be fair, because
Right,
say you're growing and you know, and then it's winter and then you have nothing. There
Right.
should, yeah, you should have the
But you
flexibility
still,
to.
yeah, still need to keep
To
your stores open.
keep the door open, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, but it'd be fair, yeah, makes sense.
so that's, so this whole section, you just still put some question marks by it.
Mhm.
Kinda circle it, so we can think on that. I think we still might need to revise that some more.
Gotta figure out what's fair on that.
Yeah,
128A is mentioned again down lower,
Yeah, but I didn't,
but again,
25.3?
don't know specifically what it is.
Under definitions, agritourism?
No, it's mentioned there, it's mentioned a few more lines down further. No definition of what it is. I suppose we were supposed to look it up and find out what it is.
okay. And again, the paragraph after that, property not engaged in commercial agriculture that is otherwise engaged in traditional farming activities, like the living farm, shall be considered a farm for the purposes of this bylaw, provided that at least, and this is where the question mark is, they had put in 75% of the acreage of the property is dedicated to traditional agricultural activities. I can tell you that my farm is like 50-50.
yeah,
'Cause I have
75 is a lot.
I have some woods,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
and at this particular time, I'm not doing much with them.
right,
We had pondered about putting trails through for, you know, mountain bike courses and stuff like that.
right.
Trail riding, whatever you wanna call it.
Doesn't
So-
forestry count as a farm?
Yeah, I was gonna say you could look up, you could
Yes.
get a hold of the forestry.
No, it's part of the farm, and it is,
Yes.
it's forest, but
And
as
do you
far
manage it
as
for like a,
dedicated to traditional farming agricultural,
yeah,
see, it's
Mhm.
so.
It's more forestry than agriculture,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm on the borderline.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
So the 75%,
that's high.
Yeah.
that's high. What
Yeah.
if you are doing, that definition is wrong based on the, right to farm bylaw
Yeah.
as the state now defines it, because if you have, a half acre to an acre of onions, or all garlic, or all gladiolas,
Right,
and your lot is only 3 acres, if you are still selling all of that in excess of a certain dollar value, you can be determined to be a farm,
Right,
right.
yeah.
even if you don't meet the minimum 5 acre.
Yeah, the definitions or I think if it's under 2 acres, you have to produce X number of dollars per
Right.
each acre.
Right,
Okay.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Um,
yes, and you will be considered a farm.
Mm-hmm,
I forget the dollar value, I
I
don't
think
wanna
it's
quote,
500.
think it's 500,
Yeah.
yeah.
or 1,000.
Last I
Could-
checked,
Could have
but-
changed.
Yeah, I
but
haven't
yeah.
checked in a
I'm
while.
not sure which
Yeah.
it is. So,
Last I
for,
saw.
for small acreages, if you
Yeah.
have 5 or more acres, then the value could be different or it could be
Right.
the same. I don't remember the current
Yeah.
standards.
So,
So this percentage,
Is
well,
this
this
just-
whole paragraph, basically,
do we need it?
do we need it, or do we say refer to right to farm bylaw?
Yeah. Is
Instead
this
of
just-
creating a whole new definition,
Is this just an attempt to protect the land, to keep it agriculture, is that kind of the angle?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
so again, this is definition of what a farm is, please refer to right to farm bylaw. I don't know if
Yeah, the
that might.
farm
Contradicts.
criteria. And then this here. To the state and town. Right to farm bylaw. We'll have to see if that works.
The last line makes sense though.
Burden of proof.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah, and basically that would be, off the top of my head, that would be if you file taxes
Mm-hmm, yeah.
as a Schedule F.
We don't have to define what that is, cause if you're a living historical farm, would you necessarily be filing a Schedule F?
No, but that's a different paragraph, different
Okay.
definition.
Oh, right, got it. Do we want to include,
I don't know.
no, we'll leave it out.
Keep it separate.
Keep it simple. Seasonal butchering, provision of butchering for distinct periods of time to accompany the harvest of animals such as deer in the fall. Now, people were under the impression that meat animals were slaughtered in the fall because of whatever reason. That should not be. Slaughter of meat animals or birds.
Oh, they were probably just thinking hunting still.
So slaughter of meat animals or birds, or where the provision of this service does not exceed 3 consecutive months. Then the permit procedures. The planning board did not want to act as the administering authority necessarily. That was my understanding, right?
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay,
I think they wanted it to fall under the building inspector.
right.
The building inspector, really?
Yeah.
Because of zoning. I don't know,
Do we even need, well, we need to say something about this section A, needs to be simplified. So,
Yeah, this
Our
was very
homework-
confusing.
I know, so our homework is to think and write down section 25.4A. This all needs to be completely reworked. I don't have an answer tonight, so we
Yeah.
need to figure out what might be good wordage.
is this just about structures on your farm?
No, it's about
What's the meat and bones of
the point of, they wanted everyone who does an accessory activity
oh,
to have a permit.
okay, and then you wrote for each activity, for every time you have an
Right,
activity.
That was my
So
question
if you go on
mark.
to the next page,
That would be
Now,
a
this,
lot.
yeah, so this whole thing
this is the nuts and bolts of what,
got confusing and too
Yeah.
over-involved
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense for the building commissioner to be the one.
necessarily.
Right, okay, yeah. But
Do we have a building commissioner?
Oh, yes.
didn't you mention applying for it once a year, or was that something else?
So,
a lot of things came up.
Okay,
And it got messy. What was discussed before this got printed, was quite different than what got printed here.
yeah,
And, this kind of got into, if you were to have people on your farm, you need a permit.
right, yeah.
And if you're going to do this, you needed a bigger permit.
Right,
And if
right,
you had, going to do that, then you need to have,
I remember.
paved parking.
Right,
Right.
right.
And so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And so it just,
so section 25.4, the whole thing, which takes almost 2.5 pages, is something that we need to sort out. I don't think we'll accomplish that
no,
tonight.
no.
So, this is our homework before the next meeting, is to go over this part.
That is a lot, wow.
Yeah. It is a
See what
lot.
we can come up with.
Read it over and over again and think how we can define this.
This is the use provisions or the permit?
Both,
Okay.
25.4 and 25.5.
Okay, yeah, cause I had questions, yeah.
Yeah, this whole thing,
Yeah, this is the,
this is the whole nuts and bolts
right,
of permit procedures and use provisions.
Yeah.
We've got to, this was where it
Right.
just,
Fell
So
apart.
are we
yeah, it fell apart.
gonna compare to other towns, was that the idea, to see
We
what?
had already done that.
Yeah,
Okay.
planning board put in a year or two of effort into this.
And we attended as participants on a special accessory committee, which is now defunct.
Mhm.
And these things are in a supposed section 25.4 and section 25.5 are kind of how it all evolved from a list.
mhm,
However, the list was easier to read than this is.
yeah,
So we need to figure out how to,
This just became restrictive.
this becomes
Mm.
very restrictive.
Mhm.
The goal was, the original goal was if Jane and Joe Doe wanted to move to Hubbardston and build a farm, if they wanted to sell garlic in their front yard, have at it. They wanted to give tours of their garlic farm, nice. If they wanted to have a Tough Mudders garlic run, with 10,000 people, okay, you need to,
Right,
you know.
Right, you had to
So
set-
it was an
yeah.
escalating,
what happens if this
level.
many people, what happens
But for
if-
somebody to be able to go to the town and say, hey, we would
Right.
like to do this in Hubbardston, okay, well, you wanted to do what? Well, this is what you will need to do.
Okay, yeah,
And they
got it.
wanted to make it easy for somebody to come into Hubbardston and be a farmer.
right.
Okay.
Right, because accessory activities are often more income producing
Yes,
than the actual
farming.
farming.
yes.
Mm.
But you wouldn't have all of that if you didn't have the farm to begin with, so
And
it's
that's,
still
that's how you want,
farm-based.
that's
Mm.
how we want it to be.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
That's the whole idea.
yes.
is to be farm-based.
Yes.
So in 25-4 and 25-5, we gotta figure out what are the limits and
Right.
numbers. Maybe Hubbardston does not want to allow any activities with 10,000 or more people in a 2-day period,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
I mean, and
We
that,
could put
like,
that
I
in.
liked the numbers, you know, it was like 350 and then 150 for events,
But
which,
To give a comparison though, we do have, you know, again, it's not a farm, but we do have Regatta Ranch. Who on
Right.
any given Sunday during the summer
Could
have
have
5,000 people there.
Yeah.
Really?
So let's-
That many?
So let's say, for example, Regatta Ranch sells to
John Doe.
John, Jane Doe who want to put a farm there, a Davis farmland.
oh, yeah,
Um,
alright.
Okay, but yes, you can do that, but you need to do X, Y, and Z through planning board, zoning board,
Right,
building inspector,
right.
et cetera. But, you know, let's say somebody, you know, again, Regatta Ranch, for example, somebody wants to grow garlic on 25 acres,
And have a garlic fest.
well, and not
Right.
have any of those things.
Right.
Okay, well, you need to get a business permit, you know.
And that's about it.
And, you know,
Right.
so, yeah, and again, for the town to come in and say, I'm going, or for a person to come in, I'm gonna grow garlic here, okay, this is what you need to do. Get a business permit,
Right.
file, you know, get a DBA, whatever you want, how you wanna set
Right.
it up, and you're good to go. You wanna come in and have a garlic festival and bring in, you know,
Yeah, music and
et
whatever.
cetera, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. You know, the Grateful Garlic Dead or, or whoever. So yes, you'd have to go through
Yeah.
certain other levels.
And some of these levels are okay.
Yes.
As
Right.
to who would do it.
Right.
But we need to think about what's realistic in the next 10 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
Not 2 or 3 years, we gotta look out.
Right.
And make something that will not have to be revised
Again,
Right.
again real quickly.
yeah.
right,
It's not that it shouldn't be updated every 5 years, we could put that at the end,
yeah,
because many,
lots of
all
things
kinds of
change and
town
find- yeah,
plans,
yeah,
master town plans and everything, FEMA emergency plans, they all have to be updated periodically. So we could add at the end to be updated in 5 years.
yeah,
Reviewed and updated at 5 years. Now, that would be a
Right.
logical thing to add at the end.
right,
This bylaw should be reviewed and updated by the Ag Commission
I didn't realize it was that long.
every 5 years. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that helps the validity of it, so that if it's not really satisfactory, there's a goal.
yeah,
Yep.
So I do think that would be beneficial to add, we'll add that in. But these two sections,
yeah,
they're hard to swallow. We have to think of, your examples are perfect, good examples.
yeah,
Of small versus big versus medium size.
Mm.
My point was, do I need a permit if the school kids from
Right.
kindergarten or first grade wanna
Right.
come to my farm for me to give them a tour about gardening?
right,
That's 50
Right.
kids right away.
right,
According to this, I need a special permit.
Yeah.
I have to get a permit that, for something we might plan 2 weeks in advance?
right,
We can't have a 30-day thing for that.
right,
How do we do that?
yeah,
How does that fit in? Because some of these things, that's where I have to pull that old list from. The original accessory committee, we had a list that are of things that were by right a farm could do.
Mm.
No new bylaw needed.
okay,
So so I should pull that back out. If you can find your original meeting notes,
Yeah.
I'll have to go find mine from that.
Cause it would contradict each other.
Some of these things are contradictory to what a farm has a right to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That, for example, I think was it Rutland?
Rutland had a,
Rutland has an accessory bylaw. And, some of those things that as a farm, you have the right to do such and such,
Mhm.
no matter what. Okay? We'll have to find that list and bring that to the next meeting. And it's
Yeah.
all about this section.
Yeah,
Does that make
yeah, so
sense? Where the-
section B, allowable uses by right,
Yeah.
right,
um,
yeah.
doesn't mention anything in there.
Right, so that should be defined, section B, 25.4B, defines some of these
Yeah.
things. Which we did have defined before, in the original, committee. So.
How many times was this revised to get to the point where it is now?
Well, again, it was a
Back
couple
and
years
forth.
worth of meetings that,
Off and on.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that the
You know, as the
planning
planning
board.
board had to deal with something else, this
Right.
got put to the side, then came
Right.
back with the goal of,
So-
jeepers, we should get this done.
It just kinda Frankensteined over time.
And then someone drew it up and Keith and I and a couple others, there were like 5 of us that were like, well, this isn't pro-farmer, the way
Right.
it's written.
Yeah,
And that's where we have to think, what's pro-farmer, yet
Yeah.
fair to the neighbors of the farmers
right,
Yep,
and to the town and so on.
right.
yep.
That's what we have to think about, how to make this fair to everybody, and yet encourage a new farmer to come to Hubbardston
Yeah,
and make a go of things.
Mhm.
Cause that is what people in at least 2 different surveys said that they loved about Hubbardston was its agricultural atmosphere.
yeah,
So we need to promote this. And that's why we're trying to pick this up and move forward with it if we can. Okay,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
so that's our homework for the next meeting.
that's.
okay. You need to bring me different colored pens, cause it's.
Yes, I know.
I can't keep writing it with this
Yes.
color pen.
Well,
Yeah.
I will try to get, up until, I'll try and get the first couple pages redone with the corrections we got.
Okay.
And then we'll just work on this other
Okay,
final part. Write down what you think, and then
Yeah.
we'll combine it, and then we'll write it again. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
so Hubbardston is a right to farm town, there's bylaws that go along with that right to farm.
It is a
So-
bylaw, correct.
So if we got that definition,
It should be on the website.
okay, I'll,
Should be able to dig it off the
Yeah.
website. I believe. Used to be on the website.
It's there, it's someplace, it has to be someplace.
And then we also need to.
So we have so many copies of this. Accessory to rural enterprise regulations.
So the one in red was an earlier draft,
Yes,
if you wanna read. So some of the other ones that you have
Yeah.
were earlier drafts.
Yeah.
You can see if the wording in any of that for those sections make any sense or not.
okay, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's
Yes,
why I gave
yeah.
it to you.
yeah,
Not that it's any better than us working right off of this.
right,
It's just for ideas of wording and stuff.
or where it came from, to be like, oh, well, that's better than it was.
Mhm.
Or it's
Kind of
not.
thing. Or not, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we seem to agree for the first couple pages and
Yeah, so that
straighten out
part,
some things.
and so I'll
Yeah.
try and type that up for the next meeting, and then we'll have to bring a
Yeah.
pad that
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
your notes on what each of those parts might read better, how it might read better, make more sense.
Put all my notes here so I don't lose them.
However you wanna do it.
Yeah,
I'm a paper person
Yeah.
still.
I am also a people person, but that's okay.
I mean, I get it on the computer for the minutes and the
Right, yeah,
agendas
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that other stuff, but when I'm working on,
Yeah.
I still work better by hand.
Yep,
It's just me. It's how I learn.
I do sometimes too, I do a mix of both,
Yeah.
but I tend to not forget this, so.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, so if you, whatever you can put it on to bring to
Yeah.
the next meeting. Was there anything else?
No, there's nothing, unless anybody has anything new.
No,
We have
no.
a
I think we're good.
motion to adjourn.
When would we meet
Oh.
next?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna do that first. When are we gonna meet next?
When are we gonna meet next? Well, we'll see everybody next week, but that's not for me.
Yeah, we're usually the third week, correct?
What is that, Wednesday?
Wednesday would be the 19th of March. March is getting messy.
I know.
Is it?
I leave on vacation 2 days later.
Where are you going? Someplace good?
We're in a meeting.
A meeting.
We have a vacation coming up in March too.
I know.
At least the weather will be a little better.
I'm planning on doing something.
So does 19th sound good
Sure.
Yes.
for
Wednesday?
now?
Yeah.
Okay.
7 o'clock?
7?
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Does that still work for everybody?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do we do it at 7, because people work, or is it just, cause like 6:30 would also work, if we wanted to go earlier, but
Oh.
7 is fine.
Is that gonna work for you?
That-
In March? It doesn't
let's
in the
make it-
summer.
Let's make it 6:30.
Okay, next
All right,
meeting.
works
for me.
Wednesday, 3/19, 6:30 PM. Got it. And we will probably be at 48 Gardner Road somewhere.
Yes.
Right.
So cool.
I believe that's where
Meeting
we'll
room
be.
to be determined.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that's
we'll-
so cool.
We'll figure that out.
I already almost forgot about that, so perfect, I'll
Yeah.
write that down so I don't forget. I'll show up
Potentially,
here.
that's where we are.
Okay, yeah.
But, once I know, it'll go
Yeah,
in to
it'll-
the agenda and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, now, go ahead.
So shall we adjourn?
Yes.
Sure.
Second.
Good.
All right,
All in favor,
8:20
8:20.
PM.